Alright, this lecture is going to talk about how to build some sort of game. So we're taking our previous lesson where we talked about arrays. So in this one we have an init method, which is going to set every item in the array to a underscore. We have our print method, which is going to print out whatever our delimiter is, and then we end up printing off the array. Let's rename this. Makes a little more sense at row and column. So generally what you want to do in a game is you want to ask for some sort of input, and then you want to read some value from the user. So for example, we could create a loop. This is generally how I set up my loops. So we can use a variety of different methods. We can use the scanner class. We can ask the user for some sort of character or number. Either one works. Why don't we use the numbers, will be a little bit easier. So here we give them the options. So we can say 1 to enter column, 2 to quit. Put a new line in there. And then if you call, the best way to make a choice between a bunch of choices is the switch command. So as you should recall, right, this will match whatever the number is, and then if none of those match, then it will go ahead and choose the last one. So when we want to quit, basically we want to stop going through the loop. So the way to do that is to say done is equal to true. Now if it's the first case, then what we would like to do is be able to enter a row and column and set that to something. So in this example, we're just going to set them to an X. So go ahead and use my getInt method. And again for the column. start these with. And then you should try and remember before I type this, or pause the video, how I would set the array at row and column to an X. Make it an uppercase X. And then in general, what you want to do is you will want to ask them what they're wanting to do, and then possibly every time, either before or after, you would print off the current state. So here we have print at the end. Go ahead and put that every time through the loop. Go ahead and print it, and then print it before the loop starts. So clearly if I hit 2, then it should ask me for nothing and exit. If I hit 1, so my row is 0, my column is 3. Right, so this is row 0, 1, 2. This is column 0, 1, 2, 3. If I hit so now I'm in row 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, column 0, 1. All right, so what you basically want to do is have the ability to ask the user some sort of question. For example, if we think about this as asking them for, if they were playing some game like Scrabble, where you could enter a word and a coordinate and then put the letters for the word in each of the spaces after that. Right, that would be one example. So let's see if we can do that. We'll work out part of it. So we got the row and we got the column, and then we could actually ask them for a line of text. If you want, you can pause the video and see if you could write a method that would get a string. Or we could just use the next line. It won't print a prompt for us, so we might want to print that. And then additionally, we might want to have the ability to enter direction. So we'll just start with going from left to right. So the user enters a bunch of text where we basically want to start at and go through and set each letter. So we'll just do this the simple way. So I is going to be our offset in the columns. So I is going to go from 0 to the length of our text. I'll call trim here. So I will get rid of any leading or trailing spaces. And then we'll just grab the character out. So go ahead and grab the character at I. Right, so I is going to march through our string. And then when we want to set it, well, the row is the same, because we're just assuming we're going to do one direction. And then our column, we'd say plus I. So that would say add 0, then add 1, then add 2, then add 3, on through our array. And we're going to set it to current. So we added a feature. Let's see if this works. Oh, I typed a bad row. Row 0, column 1. Word is high. All right, so we got HI. Or if we enter a row and column, row 3, column 5, hello. Right, so that's going that direction. Now if we wanted to go up and down, right, you'd have to modify the code. So I'm not going to show that to you, right? But you'd want to ask them another question, right? Do you want to go horizontal or do you want to go vertical? And then, right, instead of modifying column, right, by I, you'd modify row, right? So it's another choice that you have in there. You have to add that. You have to read a value and check that and go that direction. And so Scrabble, you would have additional rules like if somebody laid down something else, right, you would want to at least check and make sure that if we were overwriting a letter, it wasn't already written with some other letter. Right? So the check might be if this is not equal to current, then something bad happens, right? Or if this is not equal to a underscore, or it's not equal to current. Right, so if it's equal to something else, then we've got troubles. I like nice descriptive error messages. So these are the basic building blocks that you use in order to write your final project. There are going to be other requirements like you have to use a two-dimensional array, you have to use methods, you have to use things like switch statements. You can't, like this one, put all of your code inside of your main. Right? So you'll want to break it up and maybe you decide that all of this information maybe needs to go into a method. So how would you put that in a method? What are the things, the variables that you need to pass in? So that way your method can do the things that it needs to do and that your main method is as simple as possible. So if you can do those things, then you should have no trouble on the final project, and you guys will see the specifications for the final project. The requirements, there is a choice. You can either do a game of your own choosing, or you can do the, I believe it's Connect 6 game. So either one of those is a valid choice, and if you want to do something other than what's specified, just let me know and I can either validate or invalidate if that's a proper thing that you are able to do. So that is all for today.